talk about this season. I think if we move on to the last topics of the show. We're gonna have a look around the leagues in Euro road trip, and I think we should start off with the Bundesliga. And I think very high scoring weekend. I don't know if you guys have seen the score lines.
Yes, in a
Do you
few
want me
of
to
them.
rattle? Do you want me to rattle through them quickly, or
Go for it.
so like Friday night started off with Mainz 1, Hoffenheim 1, and then on Saturday, Eintracht Frankfurt with a 4-3 win away to Cologne. Augsburg beating Hamburg 1-0, so that wasn't really the highest of scoring games, but still. Bayern Munich 6-2 winners at home to Freiburg. Dortmund and Stuttgart 3-all draw there. Money's worth there at the Westfalenstadion. Heidenheim defeated 3-0 at home by Mönchengladbach. So Jamie absolutely buzzing with that one.
Yeah, Gladbach, they're slowly going back up again.
And then Wolfsburg 1, Bayer Leverkusen 3. So they've turned the corner, haven't they, since getting rid of Ten Hag. So let's start off with Bayern Munich. And do we think that they're going to run away with the Bundesliga title again this season?
Well,
Yes.
with that front line, if they couldn't, then companies should be sacked. Luis Diaz has been tremendous. Kane
Don't
has
remind
just
me.
been unreal. Um, I just want Kane to continue it because if he could do this at the World Cup, we're gonna love it. Um, but can I just point out though, Leipzig have been brilliant.
Yeah,
I know they're nowhere near, but since that opening day defeat to Bayern Munich, which was
they
I
were
never
awful.
seen. Oh, they were terrible. And you think, Jesus, is this the season coming up? And then they've won every game pretty much nearly. Lost one and only drawn one since that. And they're only six. Okay, they're 6 points behind still, but good work from Leipzig. I keep checking them to just see if they're gonna give it a go. They're clearly trying to stay as close as they can. But yeah, I think Munich are they get well. Everyone thinks they could win the Champions League. I'm not sure.
Nah.
I'm not sure. Um, as much as I hate to say it, I think Arsenal might. It's just they can't get anything wrong right now.
You touched on Leipzig then. They were 2-0 winners against Werder Bremen today, and Union Berlin 1-0 winners against St. Pauli. I did forget to do the Sunday results.
Who
But
cares? What Germany takes a day off on a Sunday normally.
if you think about it, this time last year we were in Germany. We watched
Mm.
Leverkusen on the Saturday, didn't we? Against
Yeah,
Heidenheim, and then
I love that. I
on the
love that
Sunday.
stadium. I did. I don't know about you, lot. I love the Bay
Oh,
Arena. It was great.
It's good.
it was great
Very
Yeah.
good.
architecture and a great fan experience as well. I think the fans were quite good, uh, and the service inside the ground was good as well. I don't know about you guys.
Well, I don't know about you lot. I don't want to sound cheesy, but what I loved about going to Bay Arena and what I love about going to most Germany stadiums, it does feel like you're joining a community for a couple of hours.
Mm.
If that makes sense, as in everyone's probably local, everyone's
Yeah,
proper supporters of their local teams.
Yeah.
Even the clubs themselves have their local sponsors all over the stadium, because they get that support and the fans have big say on the clubs and all that. And when we went to that little pub before we went to the Bay Arena, I don't know, I just really enjoyed the experience. It's just hard to say, but it was just a great day out. We saw Patrick Schick prove Seb True wrong, which was great. In case anyone's wondering what I'm talking about, Seb True said to us on the train towards Leverkusen that Patrick Schick is shit. And I was like, no, he's not. He's always scored when it mattered. And then he scores a hat trick. We were sitting in different seats. I was trying to call Seb when he scored that hat trick. I went, "What were you?" Wait, he didn't answer it, the bastard. And he went, "Oh, what I was going to say to him. What did you say about Patrick Schick?"
It was that evening as well when you got your revenge on him being asleep in the Airbnb.
Oh, what did I do again?
Because
I can't
he
remember.
drowned his sorrows, didn't he? And he just fell asleep at the dining
Oh
room
yeah,
table,
he just fell asleep like that, kind of. Oh,
dreaming of Patrick Schick.
oh yeah, absolutely. That
aren't we
was,
all?
aren't we all? We're all in Patrick Schick's world.
Well, the Sunday as well, we with Mönchengladbach and St. Pauli. One experience that was as well. I think the fan park at Borussia Park was absolutely
Mm.
sensational. And that burger, Jamie, I thought you were exaggerating. That burger was
Oh,
tasty.
it's tremendous, yeah. I must admit the game wasn't amazing, but
No.
I do love Borussia Park. That's twice I've been there, and it's yeah they know how to do a match day experience. That's for sure.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Looking at other games, Dortmund and Stuttgart with the 3-3 draw there, Jamie and Joe, and it's been a bit of a mixed bag of seasons recently for Borussia Dortmund
What are you going to say,
as
Borussia
well,
Mönchengladbach then?
and nearly had a. What do you think's gone wrong for Borussia in recent years, Joe?
God, it's difficult to say, really. I do think this game sums them up so well. You take the lead in the 89th minute, concede in the 91st minute. It's such a soft underbelly that they seem to have had for a long time now. I mean, some of it is just Bayern Munich's dominance. They finished second a lot to Bayern Munich, and it's almost like there's not a lot you can do about that. But also, they haven't been able to replace players they've lost, I don't think, over the years. They haven't maybe quite had as many sort of good young players coming through as they did in the past. It's just a cycle, I think. I'm sure they'll be back. They're such a big club. Eventually it will happen, but yes, it does feel like they're just a bit soft sometimes, I think. And yesterday was another example of that for me.
Yeah, I mean, it says it all when Emre Can is your main centre off. I mean, I know he scored from the penalty spot, but who can't score from the penalty spot? All right, David Beckham, but apart from that, but I don't know. It's mad, isn't it? Because I keep forgetting that Guirassi's still at Dortmund, and he's my favourite at that club. But even he didn't score yesterday.
I think
but
he's struggled a little bit this season, hasn't he?
yeah, he's got
quite replicated what he did last season.
Yeah, he's got 5 goals, I think, this season. There's rumours that English clubs are interested in him for January, including Man United, apparently, when I was reading it yesterday. But it just seems as though I agree with Crosland. It's like a mentality, though, at Dortmund as well. Like, I remember watching the Club World Cup, and I know Club World Cup was hit or miss, really. But I remember watching them, and I just didn't rate them at all, to be honest with you. Joe Bellingham scored on his debut or in his second game for them, and obviously the hype was there, like, oh look, it's the next Jude Bellingham, here we go. And I was just thinking he wasn't that great. He
No.
wasn't great in that game. I do wonder if they've actually bought him because of the name. And Julian Brandt as well. I know if Seb's watching, I know he likes him, but I don't rate him. He's the most overrated German midfielder I've ever seen. And there's just certain players there that are still there and they're still causing problems. I could talk about it all day, but the one player, I mean, the 2 players, they never start. And Nikola Kovac, this is a guy who lost to Mexico as Croatian manager 3-1 in 2014. He is not great. He is not a great coach. I've said it before and I'll say it again. He is rubbish. When you do not start Pascal Gross and Marcel Sabitzer, you don't know football, mate. I'm being a bit biased. I love Gross and Sabitzer, but come on, Sabitzer's awesome.
Yeah, you
Very
loved him
good
on that
players.
loan spell, didn't you?
Oh, I thought he was tremendous. When United didn't sign, I was like, oh, come on. He can't be any worse than fucking Lingard.
Jesse Lingard, who's still playing in Korea, I think.
Good, stay there.
But if we have a quick look at the Bundesliga table, Heidenheim and Mainz are in the bottom 2, with St. Pauli currently 16th, so they're in that playoff spot. Looking at the other end of the table, you got Frankfurt in 6th, Stuttgart in 5th, Dortmund 4th, Leverkusen in 3rd, so they have really turned it around in recent weeks. Like you said, Leipzig 2nd. I've been impressed with how they've come along in recent years, and Bayern Munich 1st. If we're looking on at Serie A, and we've talked about Irish people before, won't we? Ferguson has scored his first goal in over a year, and his first goal for Roma away to Jamie Vardy's Cremonense, lads.
Oh,
Wow.
good for him.
Yeah.
Finally getting paid to score.
Yeah, he looks a really good player when he broke through, but it's
Yeah, what happened there?
Gone a bit wrong for him. I think he's been injured for a bit, hasn't he? But yeah, even before that, I think he fell down the pecking order. So
yeah,
hopefully he can rebuild at Roma.
I was going to say, like, was it the Milan derby's on as we speak?
Yeah,
And
AC are winning, aren't they?
Pulisic again. He's having a great season, isn't he?
what a baller.
You know what? Good for him because he had so much hype when he was at Dortmund. Then Chelsea got him. Didn't quite work out for him at Chelsea, but it does feel like AC Milan. He's finally found a club where he is number one. You know, he is the poster boy at AC Milan.
Yeah,
And you know, it's good for the US ahead of their own World Cup. So I'm loving it. You know, good on Pulisic, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Inter Milan, they're having a good season, but they just seem to have bad games as well. It's a really weird season under Christian Kivu. Kivu's doing a good job. But Cal Hanaglu is their top scorer. That says it all to me. And he's also the league top scorer. So I don't know what's going on. It's been such a weird Serie A campaign so far. And even after all this, AS Roma are top. No one expected this. Loving it. It's a great league. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, very competitive.
very competitive. Talking about other games, Fiorentina 1-1 against Juventus, and Napoli 3-1 winners against Atalanta. When they've been a bit hit and miss, haven't they, recently?
Who, Napoli?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No,
I was just thinking with Antonio Conte being under pressure, then sitting third in
Why?
the table. So
Why? They're 2 points off the top.
Yeah,
It's a-
seems odd.
I don't understand why. I mean, they've got Scott McTominay. They're going to win everything. So
I think Como are doing well as well under Cesc Fabregas again. They're seventh,
yeah.
just 2 points behind Juventus, but they've got a game in hand on the Turin club as well, so they could end up jumping above them into sixth place and a potential Europa League spot. What a fairy tale that'll be if Fabregas can pull that off this season.
And then he just
Remarkable.
join. Then he'll join a big club.
Yeah.
He's waiting for the big contract, isn't he? I reckon.
Yeah.
Feels like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, they all do it,
Oh, no,
don't
of
they?
course not. Of course not.
Yeah, he'll do a Rob Edwards.
But he's in a big club.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, good point.
So yeah, as you said at the moment, Roma top of the league, just ahead of Milan. As things stand, it looks like Milan will be going 2 points behind Roma. Gasparini's really is putting his name out there, isn't he, for potential jobs around Europe. He's done a good job at Atalanta, run them the Europa League, and then if he can secure Roma the league title this season, I know there's a long way to go. I think he'll really set himself in good stead for maybe a job maybe in La Liga or the Premier League. What do you reckon?
Well, I think the last Roma manager to win the Serie A was Fabio Capello in, I think it was 2001. I think that was the last time they did it, and that was when Totti was quite young at that point. And Luca Toni, from what I can remember. But I must admit, I went to the Everton Roma friendly at the start of the season when they opened the new stadium, and I didn't rate Roma at all, to be honest with you. But again, Gasparini's early days in the job, and it still kind of is early days, I guess, if he only joined in the summer. But no, fair play to him. The one player I really rated at Roma that day in that friendly was Angelino, who's the wing back that used to play for City and Leipzig, who I absolutely tremendous to watch. Runs back and forth, great long direct diagonal balls as well. Absolute old fashioned wing back. Absolutely loved watching him. So I'm quite glad. I'm open. I've not watched much of Roma this season, but I'd like to think he's been a big part of it.
Yeah,
Right.
and my
Go on, Joe,
fear
sorry.
my only thing about Gasparini is if he does move to I don't want to say big club because Roma are a big club, but an elite sort of level club, is whether he'd be able to deal with the sort of players there. I think my understanding is that he can be quite a taskmaster, and it's his way or the highway. So that might rub some people up the wrong way in some of these clubs.
I think people need to remember as well, though, like Italian football managers don't leave Italy. So
Yeah.
I do think a lot of people just assume these Italian managers that start to do well will go elsewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if Gasperini's happy where he is. You see a lot of managers that have left Italy and come straight back. Conte is a good example. Um, Italians love Italy, simple as that. And I think players are the same, and the managers are the same.
He is in his late 60s as well. So
Yeah, exactly. I don't
Yeah.
think he's fussed about a big move to Spain or England. I don't think he'd suit England, to be honest.
Moving on to La Liga, Barcelona played the first game in the rebuilt new camp at the weekend. Only a reduced capacity though of was it 45,000 or something along those
Oh
lines?
no, how are they going to pay the debts off?
45,157 in attendance at Spotify new camp as Robert Lewandowski, Ferran Torres got a brace, and Fermin Lopez scored. As Oyhan Sanchez was sent off for Athletic Club Bilbao there. So yeah, Barcelona. Let's have a look at the La Liga table. Are ahead of Real Madrid on goal difference currently, and Real Madrid, as we speak, are a goal behind in their game tonight against
Wow.
Elche, I think it was who they're
Yeah.
playing. So,
Yeah.
so fascinating. Yeah, Elche. So yeah, fascinating at how tight the title race in La Liga is this year, lads.
Yeah, very much so. And good to see Villarreal right up there as well.
I know, yeah. That's
Yeah.
that especially them ahead of Atletico Madrid. They're tremendous. But I feel like it's going to be another tight one this season. I don't know about you lot though, lads. Real Madrid, I think Alonso's doing well in his first season
Yeah,
because he's got a lot to. I think
Yeah,
he's got a lot of egos to deal with there. I don't think that's an easy job for him to jump into.
not at all. Not at all.
No, no. But Mbappe's had a good season so far. Jude Bellingham, something about him, isn't there? There's a lot going on with him at the moment, and I just fear that that's just the media talking and it's just a distraction for Jude Bellingham. But I think even Ian Wright started to, say stuff about because of his colour last week, and I was just thinking, oh my God, I don't think Jude wants any of this. Just let him play football for God's sake.
yeah,
So I hope that doesn't affect him for this season because he's been tremendous since he joined Real Madrid. He's been one of the star boys for that club, and it's a good team to watch as well. But for Barcelona, does anyone really want to see Barcelona win the league? I don't, but that's just my opinion.
the fascinating thing you talked about Real Madrid.
Well, I don't really mind either way, to be honest.
Oh, it has to be one of them, didn't he?
The fascinating thing about Real Madrid talked about Xabi Alonso dealing with egos was there was talk the other week in the Spanish press about how I think it's Vinicius Junior was one of the players that is unhappy with him this season, and a number of the big names at Real Madrid aren't happy because apparently under Carlo Ancelotti, he would allow them to after the games, have a holiday, sometimes maybe even miss training if they perform well enough. And Xabi Alonso's put in more strict rules where he's like, no, you're not going on holiday after the game. I expect you back in at a certain point. I'm not Carlo,
Yeah.
and then he's set more new discipline and ground rules, and certain individuals are not liking that and have complained to the club hierarchy. So I still I think he'll stay on. I think he'll stay on long term because he's doing well. But it'd be interesting to see how he faces it in 18 months. And I think
um,
if he did end up getting, because we've seen it before, Real Madrid, where the players complaining off that the manager gets kicked out, I think he would have no trouble getting another job if he easily.
well, I actually would reverse this and say Vinicius Junior leaving the club wouldn't be the worst thing for Real Madrid.
Yeah,
He's a ball of problems. He's one of those kind of players that, don't get me wrong, he's a tremendous footballer, but I don't mean to sound back. I don't know how to say it, but like South American footballers are characters. They are,
yeah,
yeah, and Enzo Fernandez at Chelsea, bloody hell, he's a fighter. Casemiro, look at him. They all have their own interests, and I think Vinicius Junior, sadly, I mean, look what happened with the Ballon d'Or last season. Him and the whole team just didn't turn up because they knew who was going to win it, and it wasn't going to be Vinicius Junior. And it's like talk about respecting the other winner, though. At least at least just turn up and just be there, etc. So that guy's got a lot of attitude problems. And he's a great footballer, but I don't think Real Madrid should heavily rely on him for the future. If they have to let him go, then let him go. I'd rather keep Alonso than Vinicius Junior, to be honest with you. But also, Carlo Ancelotti is an old-fashioned football manager. If Carlo Ancelotti was in the era of Xavi Alonso and has just retired from football and has been a manager in Germany already and stuff, he's not. The rules are going to be so much more different because it really is strict now. It really is like they're checking what they're doing in between matches, what they're eating, what they're training. It's like what you're doing at a bar tonight. No, get back home.
Yeah.
It's so strict, and Ancelotti is a great manager, so you can't criticize his methods. But that's just what Alonso is. Alonso was brought up in a different era of football, and the guy still looks like he could play football. Alonso hasn't aged a bit. He looks himself. He clearly looks after himself very well, and I think he's doing a very good job at Real Madrid. Plus, him against Hansi Flick is not going to be easy. Hansi Flick is, he's a multiple winner,
Yeah.
international and club level. So it's not going to be easy. So I think we've got a hell of a title race ahead of us. But fair play to Lewandowski as well. He's had a bit of a slow season so far, but yesterday I think for Barcelona there's a massive advantage all of a sudden to return back to their main stadium where it'll feel like a proper home game again. Once they get used to being there again, I think that's going to give them such a huge boost.
Yeah, agreed.
With Hansi Flick as well, there's rumours about him potentially being his contract's up in the summer, if I remember rightly, and with talk of Barcelona not having the finances to keep him on. So if he did leave the new camp, I think there's a host of clubs that would be interested, and I would most certainly love to see him in the Anfield dugout should Arne Slot get his P45.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm
I think
Slot
he's a
out.
winner.
I'm just saying I think his style of play is fantastic, and he's a serial winner, as Joe just mentioned.
Not Glasner or
I think
Areola.
I think
I'll take them
Glasner's
over Flick.
I think Glasner's football suits a certain style of team. I think how to put it, I think he's a good manager in his own right. But it'd be interesting to see how it would transfer to a big club, if that makes sense. And the same with Areola at the moment. He has the one game plan at Bournemouth. I like him. I'm a big fan. It'd be interesting to see how, a bit like Thomas Frank, how he manages the big personalities at another club.
Eric Ten Hag's available.
Strong pass.
one Dutch baldy to another. Oh. Oh crap! No! Don't call emergency services.
Oh, Jamie.
Oh God! My watch nearly called emergency services. I've never had that happen before.
Highlight of the stream. I think that's a good place to end it. Jamie calling the emergency services because he just can't deal with the quality of football this season.
It's a mere mention of Eric Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Your watch knows something.
Yeah. Brilliant.